Hi, it's Orlowski again, and we are cleaning up some really cool dystopian novels. We're going to start off with Ember in the Ashes. And Leia is a slave, Elias is a soldier, but neither is free. Under the martial empire, defiance is met with death, and those who do not vow their blood and bodies to the emperor, sound familiar, risk the execution of their loved ones and the destruction of all they hold dear. I'm turning the page of my notes. This is a brutal world inspired by ancient Rome. So it's kind of dystopian, but it's also a little bit of fantasy. Leia's brother is arrested for treason, and Leia is forced to make a decision in exchange for help from the rebels who promise to rescue her brother. She will risk her life to spy for them from within the Empire's greatest military academy, which is kind of the cool part. There, Leia meets Elias, the school's finest soldier, and secretly its most unwilling because of who the director of the school is. He's being trained to be a brutal fighter. He and Leia will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined and that their choices will change the fate of the Empire itself. And again, a little bit of romance, but not too much because that's kind of gross to me. But great story. All right, we're also cleaning up with one of the more bizarre ideas for a story. Todd Hewitt is the only boy in a town of men. And ever since these settlers on a new planet were infected with the noise, capital N germ, Todd can hear everything the men think, and they hear everything he thinks. Todd is just a month away from becoming a man, but in the midst of all this noise cacophony, he knows that the town is hiding something from him. Something so awful, Todd is forced to flee with his dog, his simple, loyal voice he hears too. So this is one of the funniest opening scenes because you got to imagine what a dog is actually going to say when you could hear its thoughts. It's hilarious. So with hostile men from the town in pursuit, the two stumble on a strange and eerily silent creature, a girl. Who is she? Why wasn't she killed by the germ that all females in the New World were killed by? So propelled by Todd's gritty narration, he's the storyteller, readers are in for a white-knuckle journey in which a boy on the cusp of manhood must unlearn everything he knows to figure out who he truly is. This is probably the weirdest series, but it's also got some of the coolest ideas. All right, Cage. Megan Shepard wrote these. When Cora Mason wakes up in a desert, she doesn't know where she is or who put her there. As she explores, she finds an impossible mix of environments: tundra next to tundra-like soil, next to desert, farmland next to jungle, and a strangely empty town cobbled together from different cultures, all watched over by an eerie black window. And she isn't alone. 4 other teenagers have also been taken. A beautiful model, not me, tattooed smuggler, a secretive genius, and an army brat who seems to know too much about Cora's past. And none of them have a clue as to what happened, and all of them have secrets. As the unlikely group struggles for leadership, they slowly start to trust each other. But when their mysterious jailer appears, a handsome young guard named Cassian, they realize that their captivity is more terrifying than they could ever imagine, because their captors are not from Earth. They have taken the 5 teenagers for an otherworldly zoo where the exhibits are human. Exactly. All right, Unwind. So, you ever had your parents say, "I wish I could trade you in," or "I wish that I could send you away"? Well, if you are truly bad enough in this book series, you can be unwound. And unwinding is a nice way of saying killed for body parts. And so the idea is that if you are really a serious knucklehead who has no chance of rehabilitation, your life doesn't technically end. You become unwound, so that your stomach goes someplace, your eyes go someplace, your mouth goes someplace. So Connor is too difficult for his parents to control, and Riza is a ward of the state, and she doesn't have enough going on to keep her alive, and all of these kids try to escape their fate as an unwound, or to be unwound. It is way creepy, and there's a whole bunch of books, but all of them are a fairly quick read. So we have the Scorpion rules. Very strange book, but it's like the Ember and the Ashes. It's got some sense of the old world, but in a new place. So Greta is a duchess and a crown princess, and a hostage to peace. So this is how the game is played. So if you want to rule a country, you have to give up one of your children as a hostage, and they go to a special school. And if you go to war, your kid is killed. So it's kind of this trying to make a guarantee that you're not going to go to war. So Greta will be free if she can survive until her 18th birthday. Until then, she lives in the precepture school. She lives in the school with the daughters and sons of the world's leaders. And like them, she's taught to obey the machines, see where this is going, that run the school. And like them, she is prepared to die with dignity if it is required. But everything changes when a new hostage arrives. Elion, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is a boy who refuses to play by the rules, a boy who defies everything Greta has been taught. And as he opens Greta's eyes to the brutality of the system they live under, and to her own power. As Greta and Elion watch their nations come closer to war, Greta becomes a target in a new kind of game. A game that will end up killing them both unless she can find a way to break all the rules. So again, we have an evil government and a kid who's got to figure out where and how she's going to live. Finally, this is the last book we're cleaning up with. The Flawed series. Celestine North lives a perfect life. She's a model daughter. She's well liked by her classmates and teachers, and she's dating the impossibly charming Art Crevan. Who knows if I'm pronouncing these right. But then Celestine encounters a situation where she makes an instinctive decision. She breaks a rule and now faces life-changing repercussions. She could be imprisoned. She could be branded like a tattoo, but with a brand. She could be found flawed. The author depicts a society where perfection is the most important thing and flaws lead to punishment, and where one young woman decides to take a stand that could cost her everything. All right, thanks.